Good evening, everyone.
Hey,
Welcome to
everybody.
Tuesday Night Q A with Miss Ellen, who's graciously agreed to join us for another night.
Agreed. I thought it was in my contract.
It's it's an ongoing bribe, actually.
Is that what
Contract
it
makes it
is?
nice. Yeah.
Hey,
Good.
Melissa.
Hey, Melissa. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Uh, we ours went by pretty quick. We had what do
Mhm.
you call it? A Moravian pie.
Moravian chicken pie. We don't usually do like a Thanksgiving. I think we talked about this Sunday. But yeah, I made for the first time mashed sweet potatoes. Never made those before. And yeah, the Moravian chicken pie. And what else do we have? Something else. Or did we?
Pumpkin
Oh,
pie.
pumpkin pie, of course. All the pies.
So it was good. It was quiet. It was peaceful.
Hmm.
So overall, a good Thanksgiving. I spent part of it grading papers, which I absolutely loathe. If I
Or
wanted
a
to be an
boar.
English professor, I think we've talked about that. If I wanted to be an English professor, I would have been an English professor. But nonetheless, been a been an interesting week getting back to the grind after basically a week off for Thanksgiving. So this job does not suck. I don't know if y'all have ever given any thought to going and being a professor, but it's a great environment being around the kids. It's fun. You get a
Except for when
week
it's
off,
not.
except for when it's not grading papers. You get a week off in the fall, a month off for Christmas, a week off in the spring, 3 months off in the summer. That just does not suck. It's not an altogether horrible gig.
Well, I mean, also too, you'd actually do work during the summer. You push a button.
Well, I do, I should be doing some research, normally do some research during the summer too, but it's on my own schedule. And I teach a quote unquote, I teach a summer class, but I've got it set up to where it's pretty much auto run once I open it. Melissa, Green Bean, and I went to Universal and then relaxed and ate. Universal Studios?
Hmm. She's in
Interesting.
Hollywood or West Hollywood.
Yeah, interesting. It's hope it was fun. I have never been there. We actually have a large production facility here. Used to be Screen Gems. Somebody else bought it.
Who is it now?
I don't know. I forget who
Hmm.
bought it. But they're, restoring it, expanding it, whatever, trying to bring more films back to the city. And
Hey,
Brentwood, long time no
hey,
see.
Brentwood.
Welcome back. Good to see you.
Family's gone home. Shoo, right? Family can be a
Yeah,
lot.
they can be. It's good to have them. I miss mine. Um, of course, I never had to cook dinner for 10 people either. So the holidays were, from my perspective, a whole different vibe than from my mom's.
They
I
were a
think
whole
my
different.
mom
They're a whole different
vibe.
quote unquote ball game for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think after the holidays, I kind of seem to remember my mom just kind of collapsing, just chilling for a few days, catching her breath.
We all love
Family.
our family,
Love
right?
them all, but they are loud. Yeah. It's kind of like having Morkies around all the time.
Oh, stop.
Loud little mullets.
Further, I just wanted to let you give you guys an update on Mahoney. She is doing much better. Um, she actually went back outside today and brought me a decapitated kangaroo mouse and left the head beside the body for me. That was awesome. Yeah. I sent Clay a text and said, I need you to come home now because I can't let the dogs out and I can't let Mahoney eat the rest of this mouse because the mouse could have eaten poison. Don't know if that's why she's having seizures. Ugh. Yeah,
So
sweet of her to bring me a gift. Oh,
she only does
yeah.
it because she loves you.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, lucky me. Lucky Clay, because he had to get rid of the. I don't do dead things. I just don't. I can't. No interest. I will kill a spider. I'll kill a roach. But dead furry animals, I don't. No thanks.
Yeah, and this one actually had the intestine pulled out. It was kind of cool.
The kidneys and the esophagus and the head were laying beside the body. It was lovely. It was very sweet of her to do. I guess
She gives you only the best. Mahoney actually at her prime is a pretty good mouser. We also have voles or moles around here. She's good at keeping those under control. And yes, Brentwood, it is a free anatomy lesson.
Yeah, it was funny because I was like, how did she even manage that? The head, the esophagus, and the kidneys intact. And that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, did not chew through it. Just it's like she surgically removed the head and then just pulled it and kept pulling.
But the kidney stayed attached. It was just weird. Sorry.
I'm sitting here looking up. Have y'all seen this moon? Y'all may not. West Coast, y'all are a few hours behind. But it's rising here over the beach, over the ocean, whatever. It's just big old full golden moon. And I found something out a few months ago that I did not know. Did you know we only see one side of the moon?
Yeah.
We'd never see the back side of it. We only see the one side of the moon because as it rotates, it stays, quote unquote, in a fixed position. So we always see the same side of the moon.
You didn't know that?
Not until a couple months ago.
Well, you could ask me.
Never thought to ask.
Yeah, it's a thing. It never.
That's kind of interesting.
Because the moon doesn't exactly rotate like the Earth does.
It does rotate, but because it's rotating as it goes around the world,
at the same time.
Yeah, it's almost synced perfectly. And I actually read the reason for that, and I forgot it. Ta-da! So knowledge gained, knowledge lost.
There you go, Brentwood. Dark Side of the Moon.
I've heard that song for, let's say, 50 years. Never thought about it. There's a lot of songs. You ever just have a song and you like it and you're singing it along, and then as an adult, all of a sudden the lyrics hit you and you realize what it's singing about? And when you were younger singing it, you never thought about it?
I'm a lyrics freak, so no.
Yeah, it's happened to me a few times. Just never really thought about the meaning of the lyrics.
To me, music is poetry with the tune, which is why I can't deal with rap or any of the things that heavy metal. I just no. And a lot of songs are just shallow, and that upsets me. That's why I like Dan Fogelberg. Love him. I like a song that can tell. Billy Joel,
Fogelberg, Taylor, Joel.
Yes.
Some of the country folks are good at telling tales.
Or Carly Simon, definitely a lot of the country folks.
Yeah, Stapleton.
Jamie Johnson.
What was the old guy's name? In the 90s, had 15 or 20 songs that were great. I'm
not sure what you mean by old guy in the 90s.
What was his name? That is going to eat at me.
Garth Brooks. What is old to you in the 90s?
Oh, geez. It's not coming up. He had a song about a ring was titled like This Ring or something. Help me out, people. I need your help.
Hey, Carson, you're a bit late. If you can help Clay out, it would be awesome.
Yes, he was a very, very popular 90s singer. Not Chris Isaac. No.
Old guy. I'm trying to think
Not
of an old guy.
old. He was in his 40s.
Johnny Ash?
No.
Cash?
No.
Okay, 40s is not old, by the way.
Ellen, I just said this old guy, not OLE, not OLD.
I thought you said OLD.
No.
Country. What's the genre?
Kind of pop country.
Clint Black.
I'm obsessing about this now.
Travis Tritt. Not Travis Tritt.
Travis.
The guy, yeah, he's from Marshville, North Carolina, right?
Travis something.
Yeah, y'all help. Come on. I know exactly who you're talking about. 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the road.
Randy
Travis. Yes, he's from Marshville, North Carolina. Boom. I sent you that the mural of him on the wall or the building. Mm-hmm.
He had some great stories. That's what started this need to go, to go find this singer. He had some great stories. And I miss stories. Who sang The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald? He just passed away.
I don't know.
Oh, geez, my mind's just drawing a blank tonight. Gordon Lightfoot. He could tell some good stories. Harry Chapin was a great storyteller. He had some of my favorite songs. They never got terribly popular, but they were meaningful. Great storyteller.
I was going to show that. Hang on.
And Chris Isaac, I loved a couple of his songs, but he had those 2 songs and then really didn't hear much from him after that.
So this is I thought I had the picture open elsewhere. But I actually videoed this when I drove through Marshville to go to my grandfather's. There is a picture of Randy Travis. See if I can get it bigger. Well, I thought I had it there. Why don't I know how to use this?
Do y'all vote? I go upstairs and show Ellen how to use a computer.
Stop. Well, it was just bigger and now it's not. Hang on. Give me a moment.
I'm sorry. Who's the first one to going to throw out WAP?
There we go. Can you see that?
It hadn't changed.
Shit. Hang on.
We are professionals.
Remove. Present.
Carson, now to grab bottles for recycling. Oh, wait. Carson's first comment. Busy being moved by Mike Rowe's latest podcast episode. I think people here would enjoy it. Mike Rowe is a great dude. I would love to buy him a scotch someday. He's the guy that does dirty jobs, and he is down to earth, not pretentious, not a pretentious bone in his body, and he relates a good story as well. Great guy. Did not really know he had a podcast, but I might have to look it up and start listening to it.
There we go. So you can see Marshville, if you can see Marshville right there. You can't see. Can you see my cursor or no?
Yeah. Can you see Brentwood's comment?
Yeah. We're doing the Google thing. So there's Randy Travis from Marshville, North Carolina. And like I said, I sent Clay a video of that last time I went through there. And I don't know if he thought it was funny or not, but.
That's really not a good picture of him.
No, but it's a cool mural.
Welcome to the South, Ellen.
I can speak. I promise.
I love Mike Rowe's voice too. He has a good voice. Give him credit. I was trying to decide who I wanted to narrate my death and funeral, whether it's Samuel Jackson or Morgan Freeman. Might have to add Mike Rowe.
No, James Earl Jones, 100%.
And James Earl Jones.
Mm-hmm. Question.
Wearing his Darth Vader mask.
Who was the guy that did the him or Sam Elliott? 100%. Who was the guy that was the food taster that passed away? Like he went to all
taster?
Well, he went to all kinds of countries and he died like 3 years ago. Anyone?
Oh, I can see his face. Can't think of his name.
Whenever I hear Mike Rowe, I think of him. I don't know why. Yeah, Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
Another good guy. Passed way too early, way too quick.
Sorry, I was checking Chunk out, make sure he's okay.
Chunk is just Chunk.
He's
Anthony always Bourdain. Up to something, but he is a good-natured little pecker.
He's a little shit. It's Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
I think so. Okay.
Yeah, actually went to a Chinese restaurant in Atlanta that he would describe as his favorite Chinese. It was pretty damn awesome. It was a hole in the wall, but the food was pretty damn awesome. Don't know if I can find it again, but if I'm back in Atlanta, that would be a place I would go to. Chunk is chunking.
Chunk is chunking. Chunk is definitely chunking.
He's got his own little attitude, his own little vibe, his own little universe. He's just always happy. He's just always ready to play. And he is just personality out the wazoo. Gail.
That is correct, yes.
Randy Travis had a stroke a few years back. That's why you haven't heard anything new from him lately.
And I'm about to just totally screw this up, but there is a singer that I saw on Instagram or Facebook that has gone to see him and sing his songs for him. And I cannot remember her name, but I love her voice. I love her songs. But that is just the cutest relationship they have. She's such a big fan, and she's now become like a pretty well-known singer. She opened for what is going wrong with my brain? The Tim McGraw when he was on tour, which was pretty cool.
Not a bad act to open for.
I mean,
yeah, I just always loved Randy Travis. He was just one of the good guys. Had a good voice, and he wrote songs that everybody could sing along to. Had good words, good meaning. We talked about some of the mindless lyrics that are, coming out in music in more recent times. You've seen the old meme between Beyonce and Queen.
No.
Where Queen wrote, Bohemian Rhapsody. You had one author, one writer, one singer, and you have the complexity of those lyrics, the diversity of music. And then Beyonce had a song. Yeah. Written by 8 people. And it was just basically the same phrase being repeated 20 different times. It was just mindless. Every generation, I think, thinks its music is the best. It's what you grow up with and know. But they'll be listening to Led Zeppelin and Queen 50 years, 100 years from now. They won't be listening to Britney Spears or some of the others.
Well, my kids even love Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah. If you
They just,
listen to it, the problem is a lot of them aren't exposed to it.
well, I'm their mom, so they had to be. They had no choice in the matter.
Yeah, my daughter can cite you verbatim lyrics from, Led Zeppelin, Cat Stevens, who's the group that sang September?
Um, which
It's not
September?
Ohio players. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Ah,
Some of those.
Nine Inch Nails and Taylor Swift. What in the world? I have not. I don't keep up with the crazy memes like Clay. Clay is like he knows every meme out there. He's like, haven't you seen this? And I'm like, nope, no idea.
9 Inch Nails. Somebody brought up Johnny Cash earlier. 9 Inch Nails actually wrote and first recorded the song "Hurt." Cash simply did a cover of it. And I don't remember his name, but the lead singer for 9 Inch Nails, when asked about Cash's cover, said it's his song. He did it better than we. It was his
cool
song. Yeah. So humble guys. I admire that. And of course, I'm a huge Cash fan. Always have been. And my tastes are a little bit, eclectic. I love Prince. I thought Prince was a musical genius. The guy.
He also likes some really weird shit too.
Well, a lot of artists like some weird stuff. Did y'all ever see the Tom Petty tribute to George Harrison, When My Guitar Weeps?
Yes.
And Prince at the end of it doing that incredible solo?
Yep.
Well, Prince actually missed the rehearsal. And Petty was a little bit concerned whether or not, it would work. Whether Prince, could get the timing and fit in or whatever. And so he called Prince or talked to Prince, and Prince said, "Don't worry about it. I got it." And so what you heard Prince do was the first time it was played.
Sometimes it's better that way.
He just went off. And, it's just a brilliant musical piece. The guy was just extremely, extremely gifted and talented. Yeah, exactly. He could write any song, play any instrument, and dance. I saw him many times perform. I took him once with Casey to see him. Great entertainer.
Are you ignoring my comment?
Pretty much. There's a hole in the bottom of the sea. Do y'all know that song?
God, I hope not. That's. Oh, see? Yeah. Melissa does.
I actually always sang it to Casey, annoyed the hell out of her. Then I sang it to Ellen, annoyed the hell out of her.
Oh, even Brentwood knows it.
I can do it like 30 different lines deep.
Oh, he just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes
I love
and
that
goes
song.
and goes. I mean, we get to like an amoeba on the thing, 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 in the hole in the bottom of the sea. Then the amoeba grows a hair. So there's a hair on the amoeba, on all the things. I mean, he just goes on and on and on. And I think like the first 2 or 3 years I knew you sang it at least extensively every third day.
Something would happen and it would remind me of a hole.
Well, I would say,
or somebody would say a hole.
There's a hole in the wall, or there's a hole in here. And as soon as he hears the word hole, he's like, there's a hole, there's a hole, there's a hole in the bottom of this. I was like, oh shit, here we go again.
You know, it's just one of those songs when you hear it, you can't help but smile. Even if you don't want to hear the rest of it, you can't help but smile. My daughter's the same way.
I still laugh.
She'll roll her eyes and then she'll turn to hide her grin.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't offer me any encouragement.
I'll say something about there's, a mole dug a hole in the yard. And Clay will be like, there's a hole. I'm like, oh shit, nope. I did not say hole. I try to avoid that word at all costs.
There's a mole in the hole.
Oh God. In the bottom of the sea. In the lock, in the bottom of the sea.
See. Gail used to drive past Prince's home in Minneapolis regularly. I forgot he was from Minneapolis, but that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. You know, it's amazing the talent. It doesn't matter where you live. There's talent around. You know, we oftentimes don't celebrate it enough, I think, or appreciate it. And there's certainly vastly different types of talent. But I admire people with gifts that put them to good use. So, enough about that. Unless we can think of something else about that.
Hang on.
Ellen's grinding on something. Ellen?
Hang on.
Do we need a drum roll?
No, I'm just putting it out there. I said, you do have a great whole song singing voice. So, it almost came there. So if, Melissa, if you're like missing it, I can have Clay record it and sing it or make a little video.
No.
Of his like 30.
Yeah, no, not going to happen. Do want to mention, we talked about this a little bit this weekend.
What are we talking about?
Christmas. Kind of have a Christmas special on Saturday, the 22nd. And what we'd like to do or have is for each of you, if you're willing, to do a little video of your favorite tradition or a favorite memory or whatever makes you happy during the Christmas season. Or if you'd rather just email me and I'll read it out. But if you're willing, just do up a short video and just tell us your story. We'd love to hear from you and just have a night where we just celebrate everybody's happy moments.
Plus we're looking for suggestions.
and the things that, this is already suggested. I think it's a great idea. I want to do it. We're going to do it. And so if you would, consider doing that, I'll, there's some people that are with us intermittently. So I'll post something on the community page, maybe post a comment to a few replies. So, may hit you up doubly, but if you will, just be given some thought as to what makes you happy over Christmas. What do what are you thankful for? What's your best memory? Whatever you want to do, whatever Christmas, tradition that you like or miss the most, and let us know. Do up a little video, or send me an email and recount your story, and I'll read it for you. I know some people are a little bit concerned about privacy, so we'll work with you however. But I think it'd just be a fun night to hear and have people share their joy and fun things that they remember. So Melissa, yes, please. That's great members content.
She's talking about the whole song.
Melissa, you haven't heard me sing. So
she just did. You have a great singing voice.
No, I really don't. Sound like a dying calf in a hailstorm.
No, you don't. We need to talk about book club night.
Oh yeah, book club. I've got the book, The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis. So we need to set a date, don't we?
We do.
Let me pull up my rusty calendar here. Today is the 28th. So how about in 3 weeks, the 19th?
Is that too close to Christmas? Why don't you put up a poll? Do they want it in December or January? Because people got lots of stuff to do in December. I don't know if everybody can do the things.
That's a good, that's good. I think we had talked about having it maybe the 12th or 19th, but I can go ahead and put up a poll on the community page.
Or just put it up here for, I guess, community. I don't know. Whatever works.
Can I do a poll on YouTube? I think there's a way. Start a poll.
Pick one of the options whenever, because I'm game. Cool.
All right, I'm working on a poll here.
Now, just so you guys know, we do this on Zoom. It will not be on YouTube because we want to hear from y'all. You don't have to show your face or whatever, but we do it on Zoom so that we can have a discussion. Just something, for you guys to express your opinions. And Melissa, December or January works. Cool. Are you working on that?
Yep. Should I include let's see, December 26th, the day after Christmas? Is that too close? That's probably too close.
That's
a lot of people
close.
Be traveling. Yeah. So we'll probably not have anything then.
I mean, it was just a couple of us, but it was fun. I hope everyone does join in. I guess I don't get to vote because it really doesn't matter. I will.
You'll be there
I'll
anyway.
be here. Yeah, I'll be here on the 19th. I was just making sure that didn't interfere because I probably won't be here on the 12th. So thank you for not putting that one on there. Because I got to go back up and see my grandfather.
What day?
The 12th.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm leaving the 7th.
And we really would love to have you join, even if you don't read the entire book. You still might have some thoughts. You still might, join in the banter or discussion or whatever. But, it's a fun little get together.
It is. And just the thoughts that we kind of put out there, you may, even though you haven't read the book, you might have thoughts on our opinions on.
Yeah, and everybody kind of shares their thoughts and comments, and it's enlightening, and it's fun. There's some good discussion, so y'all join in.
It's fun, and it's good to hear everybody's voice and just kind of be there and just there's no judgment. Discuss your thoughts. Like Brentwood was there, Melissa was there. It is a good time. It was fun. I thought it was fun to just I didn't read all the books. Whoopsie.
And there are YouTube. If you want to just listen to the book, there's the book on YouTube. There's, I think, a podcast with it.
And it's not a long book.
No,
how many
it's
pages
not long.
Is it? How many pages? It's not like the
this
last
particular version is about 120, 150 pages. And it's not a whole lot on each page.
Mm-mm.
So it is not it's not an intensive book, but I think it's a highly interesting book. The Problem of Pain. We've all dealt with hurts, pains, some form of suffering. How can pain exist? Is life just meaningless and we're here just to suffer? Or, if there is a holy and just God, how can pain exist? So it's an interesting, thought-provoking book.
Brentwood, I agree. I think y'all need to make sure that he at least joins, if not reads the book. I think he would enjoy the book. I know he's taken out recyclings or whatever right now, but yeah, he'd be a good addition. We need to maybe I was going to say put it on Twitter, but that's not going to work. But we can at least
put what on Twitter?
Like the link for Zoom. We can't do that, but I can at least private message. I've got a bunch of you guys in private message on Twitter.
Well, we can throw it up on Twitter, and if somebody, we can actually post a link on Zoom.
There you go. Is it existentialism though? I don't.
No, I wouldn't exactly call C.S. Lewis an existentialist.
But Carson, read the darn book. It's 150 pages.
That's what a mod life crisis is.
Mid?
Miss. Typing is hard, Carson.
You mean mid. Letters are hard. We're just messing with you, Carson.
Carson's too full of awe with Mike Rowe right now. That's a good guy to be impressed with anyway.
Who?
Mike Rowe.
Mike Rowe?
Remember Carson said he just listened to a Mike Rowe podcast and he was all fired up and doing recycling now?
Oh, I didn't know that was a person. I just thought he meant a mini one.
Mike Rowe?
Oh, Mike Rowe. Okay, see, y'all. I wasn't reading, I was listening.
That's all right. So what's going on in the world?
Look, I'll say we're doing things. I won't self-snitch. Oh, Lord, what are you doing? Carson?
Yeah, when you say you won't self-snitch, that almost requires you to self-snitch.
Yeah.
You can't keep it all to yourself.
I mean, did you bring enough for the rest of us? What's going on? You can't say that and then not spill the beans. Apparently you already did because you already told us there's something you're doing you shouldn't be doing.
So we just need the details. You don't have to snitch. Just tell me and I'll keep your secret.
No, he won't tell me. I'll keep your secret. It's not something. Well, are you alone? Is there conditioner involved? What do you? I'm not. Carson. Talk about
Carson, you could have worded that a little bit better, brother. I'm telling you.
Just saying.
Yeah, maybe we ought to just trust Carson's judgment.
I doubt it.
Carson, you don't have to self-snitch. We're good.
He set himself up. Come on. You know he did.
We're good. Saw something that thought was modestly funny. Let me throw this up. Ellen's going to be laughing about that all night. This is, oh, shoot. Hold on a second. I bet I need to I forgot I have to redo this every time. I don't know if, StreamYard has this sound thing fixed or not, but listen to this. This is kind of beautiful.
In fact, as a share of earnings this Thanksgiving, dinner was the 4th cheapest ever on record. I want you all to know that. I look at all the press, look at that. Press is particularly excited about that.
For the White House or for Americans?
He's talking about the average cost for Thanksgiving was the 4th cheapest ever. So how about it? Was Thanksgiving cheap to y'all? Cheapest ever? One of the cheapest ever? Because I got to admit.
Clay, it was.
Well, for
probably
those
the
who
cheapest.
celebrate the Thanksgiving meal.
For
You're
you and I, it was very
excluded, Ellen.
cheap. No, for you and I, it was very cheap because our neighbor brought
free.
us that pie and the
Yeah.
other pie and the sweet potatoes. So yeah.
Well, this is kind of, his comments kind of even more interesting when I look at the increases in food prices over the past couple of years. Flowers up 35%.
Oh.
Baby food. Did you have baby food for Thanksgiving? Almost 30%. Ground beef, 24%. Poultry, 25%. Dairy, 24%. Soups, 21%. It just, bread was up 30%, 26%. So I just thought that comment was kind of fun. And it's kind of like we've, with the numbers, and we've talked about the inflation numbers from BLS and whatever. It's kind of like, imagining there's, a big rainstorm and the weatherman, covers the rain gauge. And then right as the storm's about to end, he removes the cap. And then he tells you, oh, just trace amounts of rain. Then they tell you, it wasn't much rain. So that's kind of my view of, the numbers produced by the BLS, by the government when they talk about inflation. They talk about food has increased only 12% over the past year and a half.
That's it.
I think no.
Yeah.
Carson, did I intentionally word it to sound potentially dirty? No, you didn't intentionally. That was the beauty of it. Carson, maybe it was cheaper because people bought less food. And then Brentwood. A little of both. I think she's referring to the wording and nothing blushworthy.
Or did I intentionally word it to sound potentially dirty? Or do I do it often enough that it comes naturally?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be it.
Except Brentwood, that is most likely.
Yes.
And then me. Y'all are killing me.
So inflation is still, inflation is tampered a little bit, but I don't know if y'all noticed or not. Did see housing prices drop. Median house price dropped 17% this past month. How cool is that?
Not good.
We talked about housing prices a month or two ago as they were, so high. And I said then, whatever goes up comes down. You've got all these kids talking about, won't we ever be able to buy a house? And I said, just wait. They'll drop. Prices will drop. They are starting to drop.
Isn't that isn't there a song? What goes up must come down. Spinning wheels, spinning around. Yeah, I have no voice, but
all I know is there's a hole.
Keep going.
Yeah. No. So inflation with the drop in home prices, you'll probably see the inflation because that's a big component. Housing's a big component of inflation. Only problem is the component that they use.
He paused on me, you guys.
The index they use to calculate home prices has about a 2 or 3 month lag. So that drop may not show up too much immediately. Don't know. And there's some other things. Production is down. People are still spending. I think the report this past weekend, the Black Friday, the Thanksgiving weekend shopping was like online shopping was up 7%. Shopping in stores was flat. And people
Flat
go,
meaning it didn't increase or decrease.
right.
Okay.
And, you have the pundits going, oh, people are still buying. Everything is, all is well, all is well. And then you see the data that shows, a 75% increase in buy it now, pay later type plans. So people aren't really buying the stuff. They're borrowing. Their credit cards are maxed out or way high. Credit card charges are high. And so they're borrowing even more to buy gifts for Christmas.
May I interject here?
Sure.
I have always been someone who believed that if you have to go into debt to buy me a gift for Christmas, my gift to you is save your money. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Like, you can just, tell me you love me and Merry Christmas. Perfect. I don't need anyone to go into debt to get me a gift. That's crazy, in my opinion. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, but if you're a parent and you have kids,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of parents feel very stressed if they don't do something for their kids' Christmas.
But what kind of something?
Get them gifts.
How many gifts? How much gifts?
I'm just saying. I don't know exactly.
That's the kind of American consumption way. Buy them a million things.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's a practical reality that parents will spend more to make their kids happy. And I think ultimately that's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
Is that parents enable their kids to live well. And as a parent, I want my kid to live well. And then, they go off to college and they think, I ought to have a really nice dorm and plenty of whatever food I want to eat.
And all the electronics and everything.
And then they graduate and they think, I ought to be able to live alone and afford my own place and still be able to go out and eat all the time and have nice furniture and have a nice car. The point is, I think parents oftentimes do their kids more harm by not teaching them some sacrifice, by giving them every material gift that they then won't be able to afford once they get their own job.
Well, I mean, Clay, when I was a single mom and my kids were, really from middle school to high school, we would go to Goodwill and shop because that was, it's stuff people aren't using and it's cheaper for a single mom and they could pick out whatever they wanted. It was not, and they were sensible about it. And Emma always saved her money. Carson was more the spendthrift, but, I would pay for their clothes. And I was like, if there's something you can find on sale somewhere that you really want, that's okay. We're okay with that. But as far as all of the little stuff they don't actually need, but they want clothes or extra sweaters or extra, not like sweaters to keep warm, but just fashionable, whatever. We went to Goodwill and my daughter loved it. She used to love going to Goodwill. It was like a hunt and find. So, I think you have to teach your kids that, you don't have to have something from a department store or the latest trend because you can find pretty much the exact same thing cheaper at Goodwill.
Yeah, well, it's just, I think parents are creating false expectations in their kids if they allow them to live
beyond
have
their
a
means.
living standard that the kids won't be able to afford when they graduate. Now, if you're a billionaire and you're going to give your kid, set your kid up with a trust fund, and they'll never want for anything, and they can maintain the same standard of living, okay, whatever. But a lot of parents are spending excessively, not saving as much as they should, my opinion, to allow their kids to have a higher standard of living, kind of as Brentwood said, keeping up with the Jones. And then when the kids graduate college and finally are on their own and their parents have to start saving for their retirement or their future, the kid can't afford the same lifestyle. And they're shocked to find out that they won't be able to afford a very nice apartment and live alone, that they can't afford a nice new car and to travel and to eat out all the time. And the kids are bitter and resentful and feel like the system is screwing them over. And so, my advice to parents is don't screw your kids over. Don't set them up for failure. Melissa, Goodwills are good treasure hunting.
They are.
Yeah, they are. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some people look down upon that, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with going to a place, finding something that suits your needs, your taste, whatever, and
paying a couple dollars for it.
And getting it cheap.
Mm-hmm. There's
we live in a in a nice neighborhood. And everybody in this neighborhood is like, well, I couldn't fit in this. Maybe you can.
Oh, we trade clothes. Everybody thinks we're nuts. Yeah. They're like, Clay actually came up to me one day. He said, am I not taking care of you well enough? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, you're getting clothes from her and you're trading clothes. And I was like, it's called being frugal. Like, if they have clothes that I can wear and I have clothes they can wear, why not just trade?
Yeah, and everybody's kind of gotten comfortable with it. If they, some of my old shirts or sweatshirts or whatever that I don't wear anymore, I'll see, some of these ladies around the
Linda
neighborhood
will
walking
hunt you
around
down
wearing them. Yeah.
It's cute and it's funny, but it's a thing.
It's kind of cool.
I have a guy friend who his daughter lives out west, and he asked her what he could, get her kiddos for Christmas. And she sent him a link to hiking boots. They were like $200 for each pair. Now her kiddos are tiny, like 4 and 7. And I about lost my mind. I was like, you are not going to spend that much money on hiking boots for little ones. They're going to grow out of them in like 6 months. That is not a thing. No, nope, not going to do it.
Yeah, it's just silly. Some of the things we waste money on. And, I admit as a parent, there probably some times I did some things maybe I wouldn't recommend for my kids. So I'm not necessarily judging anybody. Everybody wants the best for their kids. But I would offer encouragement to think about really what you're training your kids, what beliefs and attitudes you're, imbuing them with as you allow them to live a very comfortable lifestyle. Gail, young single mom with 4 kids, wanted to start college funds, but didn't have an emergency fund or an adequate retirement account. Had to point this out to her when she asked for my advice. Perfect.
Yeah. And again, the beginning investing, which I swear to y'all, it will be out this week. Clay finished it. I didn't want it out on Monday, right before Saturday and Tuesday. I'm probably going to put it out Thursday, but have her watch that, Gail. It $50 a month would change her life, her kid's life, just to invest in herself for down the road. That's the best thing in the world she can do.
Yeah, it takes one of two things to make money. It either takes money if you already have it, or
Discipline
time.
and discipline.
Time and discipline. Even if you don't have much money, you've still got some time to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's something that really we ought to do a better job of in teaching it, early in high school before kids start to work.
Absolutely.
That we don't teach any kind of financial basics. And I think that's almost criminal because everybody is going to be dealing with money sooner or later.
I asked, yeah, I'm sorry. I took
ahead.
my son to one of Clay's classes when he started his semester on Finance 101. Was that it, or Finance? Do you remember
It
which
was
one
an investments course. First investments course. Yeah.
Okay. So I took Carson, my son, to the class, and afterwards, I mean, he was thinking about it. I took him back to school. Of course, he got penalized for not being in his first class. And that night he came home, he was talking to Clay and I, and he was just like, why don't they teach us this stuff in high school? Like, why is this not an option? And Clay and I were like, but it's something that you should definitely be aware of.
Yeah, everybody should know. And thank you, Brentwood. That's consider my day made. Melissa, with the only exception to my rule, I have 5 jobs so my animals can live the good life. That's okay.
And I know, Melissa, you've been begging for this video. We're so close. We are so close.
Yeah,
but I
don't give a deadline or a date. We've blown past through a few of those, and I'm not going to say anything else, but
it's not all my fault. Don't you even go there with me. You had to reshoot it. Now I got to recompile it and redo it and try to make it understandable.
Yeah. And when I found out I needed to reshoot it, it took me 2 days. Carson, catching up.
Pony. Watch a spinning wheel. Yes, spin. Yep.
You're a little behind, Carson, but that's okay.
He was busy doing something that we probably don't want to discuss.
Recycling. Oh no, wait, that's the thing you couldn't tell us he was doing. Yeah. It wasn't recycling.
We don't know what he was cycling, but anyway.
We don't want to know. TMI. You really liked Mike Rowe, didn't you?
I swear I thought you said micro, but I didn't relate back to the previous because there's a lot going on, man.
He did say micro.
He typed it, but I didn't.
The
when you
dirty
said micro,
jobs guy.
When you said micro.
A micro. As in small.
Yeah, it sounded like you said micro. I'm like, a micro.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was lost. Okay, now I understand. But glad to have you here, Carson. Gina? With your spinning wheel and everything.
Yes, and then I started singing it, and you took off. So there you go.
Well, welcome back, Carson.
It is what it is, man.
Ellen actually has a good voice once she cranks it up. So don't let her fool you.
Sometimes I've got my AirPods in and I'll have the music on in my AirPods and I am just blasting singing. And Clay walks in, I have no idea that he's in the house. And then I'm so embarrassed because I'm like, oh my God, I know. It's just, yeah. I got the talent for lyrics and my half sister got the talent for the voice. She can't remember a damn word to a song that she's ever heard.
Carson, there's a distinct lack of hardship tolerance in the world these days.
Yes, there is.
Amen. There really is. It's not just unique to this country. It is I'll say it's more prevalent in the Western world. The Eastern, African, South American, maybe not so much, but it is definitely in the Western world. And then Brentwood.
Brentwood, I have a great voice for everyone in the room is passed out.
Okay, y'all are cracking me up. Carson, don't worry, I'll be caught up just in time for Zoom with my oldest. Well, cool.
I got nothing.
I hadn't been able to Zoom with mine in a little while, and I miss it. She has gotten, the mama busy thing going. And so, taking care of the 2 kids, the hubs, the house, she, works another job. It's keeping her busy. And the free time she has, she probably just wants to sleep. So, yeah, enjoy it.
Carson, don't worry. It went. Don't worry. It's fine.
I'm lost.
I know. It's okay. Just keep going. True that, Carson.
All right. So what else is going on in the world?
Everything.
All things.
Can I ask, I know it's slightly political, but am I allowed to ask it? In a finance point of view?
It's half of your show.
It's not half my show. With the continuing pause in the Israeli-Palestinian issue, is that going to cost more to Americans, to Israelis, to everyone, the longer it's extended?
What do you mean by cost?
Well, it's just something I heard today, and I thought you could add some context to it.
The way it works is Hamas historically has used these ceasefire in order to replenish positions, fortify positions, move munitions around to basically better establish itself to defend whatever it wants or to inflict more damage on Israel. So in that sense, the ceasefire will probably cost more lives. And like Brentwood says, war costs more the longer it goes on. The better fortified, the better secured, Hamas is against the Israelis, the more expensive, the more difficult, the slower the progress will be made. Now, if they, Israel really doesn't have a chance on two fronts. One, it has to free whatever hostages it can. I think Israelis themselves would say, even if the war goes longer, even if it costs us more lives, if we have a chance to free 50, 100 hostages, we need to take that. And Hamas knows that, and it's playing that card for all it's worth.
Yeah.
So, yes, it will be more expensive.
Melissa, Alec Murdaugh was sentenced today for some of his financial crimes. I meant to catch up on that, and I did not. What did he get sentenced to? Anyone? I should have called up on that, and I got.
Yeah, did not hear, was not aware of that.
I know Fitz News did it live. Gail, Brentwood, Melissa,
Gail, that speech of his was too much. So y'all think he was guilty? Y'all think he did it?
Okay, Gail says 27 years. This is financial. Of course he did it.
Oh, the financial. I was talking about the murders.
No, that's still.
Yeah, the finance, there's no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a crook.
He is guilty as Chunk is.
Yeah, I'm still thinking of the murder.
Chunk was like, what? What did I do? No, this okay, buddy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk about you. Oof. Let's see if I can pick you up without you having a fit. Nope. Never gonna happen. Say hey.
See,
Say
the
hi.
problem with having Chunk on camera is you can't see anything
see.
but this black spot.
We
And
can't
he's
take
really
pictures of him. We can't. I mean, it's just blackness.
he's really much cuter than just a black blob.
There we go.
He's-
There's something.
He's
See if
got
we
a
can turn
cute
this up
look.
a little
He's
bit.
got so many different expressions.
Hey. Is that better? Look right here.
Chunk.
No.
Chunk.
He can't hear you because I got my AirPods in.
Oh, sorry.
Look.
He
Can you say hi?
He does not want to look at the computer or the lights. But he is just chock full of little expressions and all.
Now we got little Miss Jealous. Come here.
Melissa, he confessed. You know, he really
Guilty
didn't
every
have
single
much
one.
choice. Yeah.
He pled guilty. Here's a little
They
white one.
they had him up one side and down the other.
Can you just look at the camera and say hi?
Brentwood, he is totally guilty and proved he is a slime ball with that speech.
I'll have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to go hear his speech myself. I have not tracked it all as closely as Ellen did, obviously, but
Okay.
I will admit the Murtaugh trial was
It's
fascinating.
not Murtaugh. It's Murdoch.
Murdoch.
Yes, he has a pink tongue and just a black block.
He is a good-natured little dude, though.
He is.
Got to give him credit.
You're a good boy. I know.
He is a good-natured little.
I told class like I just drew a picture of Chunk and I just took a marker and did a black blob. We
That's
can't
Chunk.
get a picture of him. Like there's just like how do you do this? Can you say hi? He's
Melissa,
always on me. Tongue.
I think she was talking about Murdaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Chunkers. He's a mess. And Chunk's available for rent. If y'all want some modest entertainment for a few days, we'll rent him out.
If you want to get seriously entertained or just laugh your butt off, this is the guy to do it.
Carson, I was skeptical about his guilt in the murder until two things. Rob at L&L pointing out the second shotgun wound versus position setting of a shotgun against the door. Trying to figure that out. Ellen pointing out the second shotgun wound versus position setting a shotgun against the door.
You mean is the wound from when they were crouching down, or that was the idea? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, dude, he was crying, snotting.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah, I had trouble with some of the prosecution's testimony, like the expert forensic bullet guy,
Kinsey. Oh,
Kinsey. Yeah, he
couldn't.
his testimony was so full of errors. He doesn't even know how to calculate slope, calculating the angle of the bullet. Doesn't even know how to calculate slope.
Chunk is requesting a presence with you.
With me?
We're coming down.
Oh, okay.
Because he can hear you through here, and he's freaking out.
We'll see you in a minute. There were just some basic things with the prosecution's case. Now, I honestly, like with his wife, She was, according to the prosecution's case, she was basically standing there by the shed. And so she would have heard or seen the killing of her son. Two separate blasts, shotgun blast, sometime apart from each other, a few seconds apart. It's, and the second blast literally, fell over dead. The normal reaction would not be just to stand there and wait for the assailant to put down the shotgun, get another gun, walk over to her, and shoot her repeatedly. She would have been running either towards her son, or if she had some facilities about her, she would have been running away, trying to get help, trying to, flee for her own safety. So, some of the, it's like Rob pointed out, the head wound on Paul could be explained by Alex setting the shotgun against the door jamb, then realizing that Paul wasn't dead and shooting another round from where the shotgun was against the door jamb. The guy's handled shotguns for all of his life. Why would he set the shotgun against the door jamb? That just doesn't make sense for a guy that's experienced with guns, with rifles, and has shot them for 20 or 50 years. Shooting a shotgun would be like second nature to him. So, that's one thing. Secondly, I just don't see her standing there watching an assailant shoot twice at her son, some seconds apart. Don't know how far apart, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds apart. And then putting that gun down, grabbing the second gun. And why grab a second gun? Shotgun holds 3, 5, depends on where it's plugged, holds at least 3 rounds, 3 plus 1, or 5 plus 1. I don't know what make of shotgun they had or whether they had it plugged, but he still would have had rounds in the shotgun. And shooting her with the shotgun from 20 foot away is, if you wanted to kill her, it would be second nature. There would be no need to pick up a second gun and then go approach her, walk up to her, run to her, or whatever. And she's standing there not moving. And then you shoot her once in the front, she falls, you shoot her in the head.
Evidence presented that she was right. I am not sure, because she wasn't beside him when he was killed. And she may have turned away. But running away, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I didn't see the evidence that she was running. When I saw the retelling of the story, I noted that there was a distinct lack of any running marks toward her son.
She was surprised.
Yeah. And the only recreation I saw from the prosecution was her basically standing there with no movement. So that was the prosecution's own recreation.
Melissa, I'm with you. To be honest, I think he's too much of a pussy to have actually pulled the trigger.
Also, there was no motive presented. I mean, from all accounts previously, stories, history, whatever, it was a relatively close family. Yeah, it was a crime family. I'll agree to that. It was a corrupt family. But they were all together. And they were, all the families show him loving. Hell, he was even out with his son, laughing with him, fiddling with the tree earlier that afternoon.
That's not what someone does who
is a cold-blooded murderer.
Is about to kill.
Yeah. Yeah, there are just too many things that don't fit in the murder side. My concern more is that the actual murder is getting away. There were tons of errors with the investigation and the evidence gathering, and then the forensics guy was an absolute moron. I don't know what the hell the prosecution was thinking during a lot of his testimony, but there were things he was saying while he was testifying, particularly about the bullet evidence, that I was like, no, that's wrong.
Yeah, and Carson Slid screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
In that investigation. And the problem, in my opinion, and I'm happy to say this, and I believe it's true, that if Elliot did kill his wife and son, they did not prove it.
Yeah.
It was not proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
And I understand what you're saying when you say he needed to make it look like there were multiple people, but he's an attorney. He would, have some access and some knowledge of, the evidence and presenting evidence. Well, if he wanted if he wanted to try to make it seem like there was two different shooters, he wouldn't have shot from the same location within a few steps. Shoot at a different angle. Two guns, shotgun, you can't trace. So each assailant could have had a shotgun. That doesn't prove or disprove whether there was one or multiple shooters. And then the timing. Ellen just gave me a note, the 7 minutes. There's no way he could go to the house, shower, change clothes, and get back in 7 minutes. The timeline's just impossible. It's just not workable. Not by any reasonable estimation. The prosecution should have had somebody try to imitate that, even if they take a 30-second shower.
No blood found in the shower.
Yeah.
There was nothing. I mean, the clothes weren't found. He would have had to get rid of the weapons, the clothes, get cleaned up, and then, drive the golf cart back, because that's what he was driving, and then getting all that to happen in 7 minutes. I don't buy it.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not arguing he didn't do it. I'm just saying that I don't think the prosecution proved its case beyond a reasonable doubt, particularly with a lot of the questions and the screw ups that they had.
And you're right. He wasn't thinking clearly, and how could he have done that in 7 minutes? That they did come into his house that night. They did. They didn't swap the drains and all that, but they definitely went in his house.
Yeah, there's just too many gaps, too many holes, too many inconsistencies, too many things that I can't reasonably explain. Again, he may have done it. I don't know. I honestly don't have an opinion on whether he did or didn't. But just looking at the prosecution's evidence and some of the idiots they had testifying for him, I mean, you've got a supposedly ballistics expert that doesn't know how to calculate slope or how to use an angle meter. I'm sorry, but that's pretty damn major.
The defendant's guy explained the whole thing pretty well about the angles and all the things. And I mean, he was saying it had to be a short person. I don't know about the midget, which they keep saying, which actually is 5'6" is not a midget, but and yeah, Carson, I agree. It could have been a hit, and he knew, and maybe his, Uncle Curtis or Cousin Curtis told him to not be there. I don't know, but the timeline makes zero sense.
Yeah, I just think the prosecution put on a horrible case. To me, it ranked with the O.J. Simpson prosecution. There were so many screw ups in what they did and how they presented or didn't present evidence.
And I don't think that SLED should have done the interviewing of the jurors. I think that is a horrible idea. They clearly, or at least someone, has a vested interest in this case in that state. And I don't trust SLED, because they have, not just this case, but time and time and time again, have proven to be biased. They have proven to not do their jobs. It's crazy. I mean, they were the worst. It should have been an independent investigation on the jurors.
Yeah, and there's even some evidence of the court clerk tampering with the jury. That to me is, pretty major significance. Carson, if I had to make a bet, I would say it was a hit that was made as a warning to Alec. He knew, and he knew he needed not to be there. That's very possible with, the kind of bills he was running up, the drug use. We don't even know what all else he was doing
I still don't buy that he was doing that much.
in drugs.
Yeah. That's like he would be dead. There's just no way.
He was either selling them, splitting them with somebody. He was a middleman. I don't know.
And I think there's money. I think it's offshore. I think it's just untouchable at this point because there's no way he can lose that much money.
No. Sled screwed up so bad it almost feels like they had to have knowledge about stuff they didn't want to be known. Yeah, if that was South Carolina's finest prosecuting and presenting evidence for that case, South Carolina is screwed. I mean, South Carolina has competent people in it. They just weren't evident at that trial. And that's my problem.
I got to throw a little politics in here, and they want Nikki Haley to be president. How does this make any sense, people?
She is obviously not a Nikki fan.
I'm not.
Melissa, they got too bogged down in the financials. That's a good point. Maybe they just, I don't know. There was just testimony, a lot of people testifying to things that they really had no idea or clue of. Brentwood, not all that money went toward drugs for sure.
No way.
No. And there were some other shady things. I forget the details, but there were stories about them going to the water, meeting boats at night. I don't remember the details.
That I can look that up. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. If one of y'all has a better memory than me, but that was something that I was like, okay, that's probably something pretty major going on. You need to track that down, figure out what the hell's going on there.
That's true. Being an embezzler does not mean you're a murderer.
Yeah.
I mean, if you steal people's money, that doesn't mean that you're going to kill anyone.
Yeah, and you saw the guy, before he was arrested, he was just a big old affable loaf. He obviously didn't even discipline his kids.
He has no
mean streak in him.
No, not enough to kill his wife and child.
That by all other accounts, he loved and adored and just, enjoyed spending time with. Down through the years, he would leave work to go do something with his sons. And regardless of failure after failure of his sons, he would stand by him. He would clear the way for him. He would try to smooth it over. That's not a father that is just going to, murder him in cold blood.
And especially not for
my opinion,
the boat wreck. I mean, that is not enough for him to kill his son.
Yeah. Becky Hill might just have given the defense their best chance to get this conviction yeeted. It's something that definitely needs to be considered and investigated. I don't know that they ever will. I don't know what the progress or development on that is. I don't know if it's just going to be a forgotten issue, but to me, it was not insignificant. He does have an airstrip on his property. Could have flown himself. Money, evidence, anywhere.
I don't think he was a pilot, but I think Curtis Eddie Smith was.
Yeah. And if he's in that kind of business, that kind of connections, he's got access to pilots and planes flying all over the place.
But they would have to, you can't just fly into South Carolina without a flight plan, even to a private airstrip. There would have been records, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, there are illegal flights and illegal boats, all over. But just because a pilot files a flight plan. If it's at a small airport, it's probably not computerized.
But I mean, there are, air bases and military bases in South Carolina. If there's anything off where it's supposed to be, they're gonna know about it.
I mean, drugs and illegal flights and sex traffickers and everything are moving stuff all around, and they use flights, they use boats, they use cars, trucks. It's already open.
It's not.
Yes, it doesn't open. The knife blade sticks in it. Remember those pretty knives that she bought me the other night, showed off? This is a tip guard for one of them.
Well, it was just sitting here and I just kept trying to open it.
It's
It's like a little nut. You got to get into it.
Yeah, it's hard plastic. And she's like, open it. I'm like, it's open.
Because I'm a squirrel.
As Ellen already mentioned, being an embezzler doesn't mean you're a murderer.
Well, that was because of Gail.
Yeah. The person I felt the worst for was John Marvin. Poor man's heart was broken.
I think so. I like to think that not all of the Murdochs are chintzy or actors
Corrupt.
or corrupt. Yes. But I don't know. I don't agree. I don't know any of them enough to make a judgment about that.
Yeah, the family, from what little I saw, almost struck me as like a mafia family. But still a very tight family. Not too good with other people outside the family, but as far as the family, they got each other's back. Brentwood, agree, Gail. I feel like whether it was him or someone out to get him, Alex still carries the blame for the end action. Does that make sense? Really makes perfect sense.
However, the law says.
Yeah. And if he didn't do the murder, then the real murderer's getting off scot-free.
Which means they're still out there.
And that's my main concern.
And they're willing to kill for hire. And they would live close to us, which is a little scary.
Yeah, Gail, Brentwood agreed. His actions are most likely at the root of the murders. Hard to argue with that, but I'd like to know for certain. I think there's, the ability to draw out more information, more evidence that the prosecution didn't seek out or didn't develop or try to develop or didn't pursue.
Yeah, this area, but in North Carolina, South Carolina, is huge for heroin, for trafficking. We are right between Miami and New York, and this is Wilmington's a port city, and so is Charleston. And it's just a huge clusterfuck, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just, there's so much going on and so much corruptness and so much stuff that it's hard to know what's what and who's who.
Yeah, I forget the numbers. We have one of the highest heroin addiction
Yeah,
rates in the country,
and one of the highest sex trafficking rates.
Yeah. So,
and Charleston too, because we're port cities. We're right in between each other, in between Miami and New York, and Charleston's what, 3 hours away?
Yeah, and it's not just being a port, but there's a big ass river.
Yeah.
And Charleston has a big ass river. So it's, easy to bring a decent sized boat, upriver, and innumerable places where you can make a pit stop.
Or just by the woods and meet me here at this point. A Buster Club. Thank you. I will remember that one.
Sorry. We will adapt that along with WAP.
A Buster
Cluck.
Buster Cluck. Yeah.
But, if you wanted to bring something into the country illegally, these are perfect places to do it because it's impossible to guard, protect, and inspect everything.
And they assume, I have one of my clients, her husband
my old clients, her husband was a river pilot. I mean, you have to know the rivers to go up them. You have to know exactly where everything is. That's why they hire these guys, because
Well,
they can navigate the rivers.
They do for the big ships, but I mean, like the cargo ships. But they don't. You don't have to do that if you've got a regular, a small yacht or even a large yacht. You don't have to be familiar. The river's wide enough, deep enough that these kind of boats. The river here is always at least 75, 80 yards wide until you get 5 miles up.
And if you've ever stood on that river when one of those big boats comes through, excuse me, like at River Road Park, it is like a tsunami. I mean, it's just the water. It's just crazy.
Yeah. But there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of places to dump off illegal traffic or, people or whatever.
And the Outer
Even
Banks.
the cargo, the big cargo containers. It's impossible to inspect every one of those. So unless they, we don't have 50 or 100, inspectors here at our port. We've got a decent sized port, but most of the cargo containers are never inspected. Just don't have the manpower to do it. So there's
and go through every single thing in those containers.
Unless they have a specific reason to search that container, it doesn't get searched. So it's there's a lot of opportunity here. And yes, Brentwood, we are making WAP famous.
We're sort of professional. We should be like, it's to be WASP. We are sort of professional.
Yeah, and it's not, who's the singer that does WAP?
Oh God, that
What's her name?
weird.
Yeah, whatever. We're not that WAP.
No.
It's we are professionals WAP. Carson, let's be honest, that stretch of coast has been known for smuggling for a few centuries. People around here, and it's commonly known as the Cape Fear area, and that comes from the piracy that was so common and prevalent around here in the 15, 16, 1700s.
But the Outer Banks, there's so many places to hide things. I mean, there is a legend that one of the was it Blackbeard or another Edward Teacher, somebody else has hid a huge treasure right on our coast out here somewhere. People have been
Cardi B.
But people are looking for it still. And they have all of these little ideas about where it could be, but the Outer Banks is a lovely little place. And the Outer Banks, the coast of North Carolina, there's all kinds of places up there to hide and then the rivers. And I swear, if anybody watches the show Outer Banks, it is not North Carolina.
It is now. They moved it to Wilmington
for 2 weeks. And they're going back to Charleston.
Yeah. But for those not familiar with the term, the Outer Banks, North Carolina has a string of barrier islands, little long islands that are between the North Carolina coast and the ocean. They're called barrier islands because they protect the coast from like major storms, earthquakes, major waves, that kind of things. Well, that waterway in between those barrier islands and the coast of North Carolina is called the Intercoastal Waterway. And, it's normally maintained at, I want to say 10, 12, 15 feet deep at a minimum. So you'll see major yachts coming down. Ellen's going to try to give you a view here.
I got to stop screen, then I got to reshare.
Why?
Because it. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. She's being a little pokey.
I can't read it.
So she's sitting there just staring at it.
Google search. Wait, no, there you go.
All right.
Being weird.
What'd you do?
Nothing. It's the Bloomberg thing you got going on.
All right. Yeah, that's all Outer
No,
Banks.
it's not.
Ellen,
It's up here.
Ellen, all of this is the Barrier
He's not
Islands.
from North Carolina. Outer Banks is up here.
Yeah, this is all Outer Banks. You see this little string of islands? Not islands, some of it's just a long stretch of land. And then
That's the
it
Outer
continues. And so you've got this waterway in between that called the intercoastal.
Can you back up a little bit so they can see exactly what we're looking at? Back up. Back up. Then move that way. Okay. This is the Outer Banks and the Outer Banks Inlet. Starts here, goes up.
Here's
to Moyock.
here's the line with Virginia, North Carolina. So all of this whole stretch of islands and land and strip, whatever, all along the coast of North Carolina is known as the Outer Banks. The barrier, it's just a series of barrier islands.
I'll show the river.
Here is the Cape Fear River with the city, and it goes on up, and it has pretty decent width until you get north of the city.
Then you have these tributaries that come down to it.
Yeah. And this
Here.
is probably about a 25 mile stretch.
Now this
See, this is where the Outer Banks ends down here. Well, that's what it says right there, Outer Banks Bowl.
it's a seafood company.
Still call it Outer Banks.
No,
Here's
Okay.
Outer Banks hammocks.
it's in Wilmington. Okay. Okay. That's the end of the Outer Banks. Okay. Down here, this part, can you put no, go, no, back it up. The intercoastal waterway.
Yeah, all of this is the
Yeah,
intercoastal
yeah.
and even goes down into parts of South Carolina and on down.
Okay, they can't see because you're too big for them.
Ellen,
Clay.
Ellen, I'm going to mute her in a minute. She's getting irritating. She does this.
I can't touch screen and make it bigger.
Nope.
Why don't you do it?
So anyway, enough of that.
And where is Charleston in that river?
Charleston is down here, South Carolina, southern part of South Carolina, right south of Georgetown,
There it is.
Mount Pleasant.
And that is the other big river.
Yeah. So this what was the river that they were on? Was it the Little P
Huh?
that the Murdochs were always involved on, were riding the boat on?
Oh, I thought it was the Outer Banks.
No.
Not the Outer Banks, but you've got me saying it. No, it was the intercoastal or the right outside.
Anyway, one of these rivers or junctions was where Murtaughs lived and rode their boats,
Murdoch. Not
Murdoch.
Murtaugh.
going back and forth here.
We'll kill each other soon. It's fine.
Soon.
Uh-huh. Sooner than later.
So
Adam, Chunk, you were needy.
yeah, all of that is, that's why the area we live in is known as the Cape Fear area, because of the pirates, the theft, the being able to, bring your boats in without being seen and to smuggle in goods. We have a long and proud tradition of smuggling in illegal goods, and that has not stopped because it's pretty much impossible to police.
Yeah, you can't get all of the estuaries.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Yeah, we would have to be like a freaking, I don't know, to have people everywhere. Oh, he's gonna come up.
Yeah, don't let him. Put him down.
He wanted to come down here for you.
I know. He saw me. Good to see you. Bye, Chunk.
Moffat.
Go catch a mouse. Go be useful.
That's what Mahoney does.
Go be useful. He's cute.
He catches balls. Where's your ball? Go get your ball. Where's your ball? I wish y'all could actually see his face.
Yeah, and Carson nails it here. Let's be honest. That stretch of coast has been known for smuggling for a few centuries. We do it well. We're damn proud of it. What more could a reasonable person ask for? You know what stirred all that up other than Ellen?
He just, that's what he does when I come home from my grandfather's too.
He does this little yelp. It's like he's in pain, but it's literally just sheer excitement. It's weird. It's like, Chunk, you don't do that unless you're hurt. Haven't
People
been
start
able to
think
teach
things,
him. Yeah.
Chunk. They start to think we're abusing you.
Yeah. But hey, people think whatever they want to think, don't they, Carson?
I mean, as long as you got enough lotion, everybody, we're good.
Hello. She's mad because she doesn't have the ball. So now we're in the dog entertainment phase of the show.
It's a constant competition.
Yeah.
But you got to give it to me. You can't.
Let's see.
More fun. We have to get into like the serious stuff.
Well, what's fun? What would you like to do that's fun?
GB. Hey, Green Bean.
I thought that said GB is borking. And I'm like, borking?
It does. She meant working. It's okay.
I kind of like borking better. I don't know why. But Green Bean is borking hello to you guys.
He won't give it to me. He wants me to throw up, but he won't give it to me. What do you think is going to happen with the Murdoch trial? Do you think they're going to give him a new one?
Yeah, does Murdoch? I meant borking. Does Murdoch get a new trial?
I can think y'all are hilarious. Y'all crack me up.
And if he gets a new trial, does the prosecution put on the same case or does it get different people?
Oh, Newman's off it.
That's
the judge.
Yeah, the judge is off of it, but I'm talking about the prosecution. Do they get a new prosecutor? Do they get new expert witnesses?
No, they're going to take that little freaking rat and still put him up. Sorry, or go for better word for him. But I can't stand him. I do not like him.
Yeah. Brentwood, he'll get a new murder trial.
What's his name? The little gopher? Little
Kinsley?
the teeth? No, the prosecutor that they put on in charge of it.
Oh.
Y'all know. Help me.
That prosecutor had a personal issue with Murdoch.
Hmm? Oh, I heard his son's been arrested for wiretapping illegally.
Who's Becky?
Becky Hill was
the court clerk. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, his son was arrested for wiretapping the chief
Waters.
No. Waters, yes, that's the name of the AI. I think like the county commissioner or something. Yeah, her phone was seized. They took it away from her at Thanksgiving. There's a lot, South Carolina. There's a lot of crooked going on.
Yeah, Gail coming in with the belief there's a hearing, but don't believe it will result in a new trial.
Oh, well, hello, Chuck. Give me the ball.
Melissa, that arrest could cause Becky a world of problems. You know, and when somebody close to a major witness or issue is arrested, I always wonder what the motives are. Is it being used to pressure her to tell the truth, or is it being used to pressure her to keep silent?
No, he was in charge of IT for the county as Melissa. And then he was caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, why, arresting him, do they arrest him to put pressure on her?
He was indicted.
Do they arrest him to put pressure on her? You're not understanding the issue.
To do what?
to either tell the truth as to what she did and why she did it, or to be silent, keep her silence.
Well, SLED has always backed up the AG's office,
It-
so I can't imagine that they would.
It's like Flynn. Evidence has come out that if he didn't agree to plead guilty, they were going to charge his son and pled guilty. So prosecutions have been known to use family members to pressure people to do something they want them to do, either keep silent or to speak. And that's what I'm saying. I wonder if there's some additional motivation to all this.
So you think she is guilty, but she didn't plead to it, so they're using her son? Or you think she's not guilty?
I think she is guilty, and I think she knows more. And there's, possibility that she could testify to other activities going on or other influences going on, not just in that trial, but in the county as a whole. Maybe she knows about the drug smuggling or whatever. I don't know.
So vote Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
This one. No.
Wait a minute. We'll take it in order.
It was above that.
Okay, hold on.
You missed one. That one.
Creighton wanted to get Alec too bad, but couldn't focus on the murder.
It's personal.
It was terribly personal to him. That was obvious just watching the trial.
But you realize, I think I told you about this. They went to the same law school, and Alec didn't know who Creighton was.
Yeah.
And that really chapped his ass.
Yeah. Becky should lose her job. She should, and I think she ought to stand at trial. We're going to see. Brentwood, the drama never ends with this case. It is the case that keeps on giving. LawTube is just, this is Christmas for them. This is just going to be, a whole new series and a whole new, flood of crowds. Ellen was thinking of getting with, was it Lady in Black?
Cat Queen.
Crazy Cat Queen, and going down to the trial. So,
Susan, it's so good to see you. We haven't seen you in a while. Hi.
how are you doing, Susan?
We need to do a deep dive. We are not attorneys, but there is a lot of common sense in this trial.
And there's just a lot of practical realities that weren't brought up, like the inability to calculate slope by a forensics ballistics expert, quote unquote.
Dude, your students don't know what 2 times 2 is.
Yeah, but they're not, court's not considering them experts at that. So, that might be something we do for entertainment value. It might be fun because it is something we all are interested in, and that might provoke some good discussions. That being said, the murder trial has been wrapped up. We all need to go forward. We all need your advice as the state of our country and investments. That is sweet of you. I do appreciate it.
Susan, that is such a big, what is it called? A clustercuck right now. Clustercluck. A clustercluck
something like
right
that.
now. And Clay doesn't like doing the political thing, even though I try to strong arm him into it. He's like, yeah.
I'm cautious, and this isn't political. This is
State of our country
and
our
investments from finance. It's not just political.
Okay.
I don't mind getting into politics a little bit.
He's terrified.
But it has, a big potential to end up being the controversy that matters. And I got to admit, I want the information to matter, if that makes sense. I know it's not quite as exciting or dramatic. Ellen loves good drama. But my interest is more in educating, helping people to live a better life.
And YouTube gets mad when we talk about the country.
Yeah, they actually, I think, end up limiting our audience, and we usually drop a few members anytime we say something controversial. So it's a little weird. I'm not bashful. I'll be honest. You know, if somebody wants my opinion on anything, I'm fine with that.
That's why I'm begging y'all to ask him questions.
But there's enough channels on YouTube where you can get running controversy and drama and whatever. There are precious few channels where you can get information that will inure to your benefit for the rest of your life. And that's kind of what I hoped would end up differentiating this channel.
Oh shit!
And that's kind of the goal.
After the wallet ended up on the built-in.
Carson, sure, they may arrest him for pressure. We got to see the evidence. Bottom line, let's get it all laid out. Let's get everybody cranking up, you know, full open what they know and when they know it. Carson, Susan, I'm sorry. I've trained everyone to derail. We
Oh, guys, look, we got some anniversaries, some anniversaries.
Don't forget the dude threw the phone around
yeah.
being considered an expert. Haven't even begun on him.
That was insane.
And yes, we're celebrating an anniversary with Brentwood and Melissa.
Love you guys.
Thank you both very much. That's very cool. We do appreciate it greatly. It's just a good little, it's just a very nice compliment. It's an encouragement to us both.
We still got to do the cooking thing.
Yeah, we talked about having the book club and kind of a recipe club. We've held off on the recipe because we had a pretty severe drop in members. And, you know, the book club had, you know, just a couple people showing up. So we've kind of waited on the recipe because we have to get a whole different setup and rig to do that.
We're working on it though.
Yeah, we are working on it, but you know, we wanted to wait till we had enough people to make it interesting and to get some people in and, you know, have some comments and some fun with it. Now, if y'all want to go ahead and have it, you know, we can go ahead and put something together.
Y'all got to send me a recipe though, because y'all might hate what I make. Of course, I might not like what y'all make. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's toss up.
And, you know, Christmas might be a good time to do a recipe show. Get
like some cookies or pastries or something yummy.
Something Christmassy and fun and whatever, but that's different.
Mm-hmm.
So
we love you guys. Thank
we
you
do very much.
But I want bets on the. Can you do a post real quick or a
poll?
Yes.
Another poll.
Yes.
All right, we've got
December 19th.
We've got the current poll.
People are killing me.
What would be the best night? We could use a few more votes from y'all. So look up that poll and vote. I think I have to end this one before I can put another one up.
Well, go ahead and end it, and then we'll do. Is he going to get a new trial or not?
All right.
I don't even know how to do this. How do you do it? Oh, look, start a poll. You can't say more talk or more tall. Question mark? What does that mean?
All right. Y'all got another poll to jump in on. Does Alex get a trial? Get a new trial? Yes or no, or ham sandwich?
What's ham sandwich mean?
Means I don't know. I don't care. I'm just going to eat a ham sandwich.
Ambivalent and apathetic?
Yes.
You should put ambivalent and apathetic.
I like ham sandwich better. Melissa, Christmas is all about recipes. Yes, it is. Food is, I've always said food is love. And I really believe it is. Most of the significant events that occur in life are over a meal. You know, the wedding, you have the feast. First dates. Usually you go out to eat. If you want to celebrate something, you go out and eat. So, if you want to welcome, new people to the neighborhood,
You bring them food.
you bring them food.
Someone dies, you bring them food.
You bring them food.
Not the dead people, but the family.
If you're Pharaoh, they probably bring you some food.
Well, I just meant
So it
like if the
happens.
person's dead, like there's no point in them having food. I just never mind.
But
Sorry.
there's just a unique fellowship that occurs over the breaking of bread. And it's kind of universally recognized. Most every major event surrounding humans, involves some food or breaking of bread.
Or the breaking of chunk.
Or the
because I
breaking
threw
of
his
chunk.
ball on the shelf and he can't get to it. Accidentally, it bounced off the coffee table.
We have a little chaos here normally. So welcome into our family.
Yeah, it's Clay threw the ball last night and ended up, where was it that he couldn't
It
get
was
to
behind a box.
Oh, no, it was
And
not.
he could push it aside or there was enough room for him to walk through.
Around
Yeah.
and gotten it. And he wanted. I was like, Chunk, I'm not getting it for you. No, you can do it. You're a big boy.
He's going to
be a nut.
Yeah.
We really like this time with you guys. Like, it's just cool to talk to people from everywhere and wherever. And we're pretty fond of y'all.
Yes, we are. And do greatly appreciate you and your time and y'all's input, your chatter, your rambling. Really, Tuesday night is supposed to be your time. I do try to prepare some stuff just, because that's what I do.
And Carson, I derail you every chance we get.
But, I'm going to save Susan's comment and just start throwing it up anytime.
What's that one?
Whoops.
Go up.
Nope, that's it.
That one? Oh, yeah. Susan, ask questions. We need all y'all to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, we don't know what to answer. Like I said, Clay's a little shy about some things.
Yeah, I'm really not shy. I just don't think it's as profitable. I think it's drama. And I don't think drama usually ends up edifying the person or your soul or your spirit. It is more interesting. It is more entertaining. It's fascinating to some people, and they can't ever get away from it. They can't ever get enough of it. But I prefer to try to do something that adds some value to you, ultimately a tangible value, not just a little additional drama. And Brentwood, good night. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks for keeping us company, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Sweet dreams. And, having said that, and that subtle hint, I think it is probably that time of night. So we will wrap it up here.
I have a dog climbing on my back.
Yeah, we have a dog to attend to. So first things first. We do love y'all. Do appreciate your time. Thank you for it.
Sweet dreams,
Hope y'all
guys.
have a great night.
Or Melissa, good evening.
Good evening. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Good morning, wherever you are. Replay crew, we love you. Please hit like,
Subscribe.
And subscribe.
Share. Please share.
And we look forward to seeing you again Saturday night at 7.
That hurt.
Y'all have a
Say
good
bye.
night. Our time is up. We thank you for
I think you
yours.
can see 'em.